You worked 80 hours this week just to be ignored. You spent $40,000 on minimalist lighting and Italian marble for the showroom. You even bought those ergonomic chairs that cost as much as a used Honda, silently begging anyone who walked in to just sit down and stay. Yet, customers walk in, check their watches, and leave after 3 minutes. You sit there, smelling your own quiet desperation, while the guy down the street is printing money with an objectively inferior product. Maybe I just didn't work hard enough on the website copy, you whisper to yourself in the dark. But no, the copy is perfect. Your entire life is becoming a pathetic series of almosts and not quites, completely oblivious to the fact that your hard work was actually just tactical noise. In 1991, Nike put 2 identical pairs of sneakers in 2 identical rooms. Only one room had a faint floral scent, and the result changed the psychology of capitalism forever. It is the unseen difference between a bustling empire and a high-end retail ghost town in 2026. You look at your perfectly designed shop, wondering why the air feels so heavy with failure and the faint, nauseating smell of industrial floor wax. You watch a customer walk in, check their watch, and leave after exactly 3 minutes. I spent $40,000 on minimalist lighting and Italian marble. I even bought those ergonomic chairs that cost as much as a used Honda. Yet I am standing here smelling my own desperation while the guy down the street prints money. Let's test the survival instinct. A customer enters your store. They look interested but hesitant. How do you close them? Option 1. Offer a 15% first-time buyer discount. Option 2. Recite the technical specs of your top-tier product. Option 3. Improve the lighting so the product pops more. 3, 2, 1. Option 4. Subconscious Olfactory Priming. You pump a new leather or white tea scent into the air to trigger the Affluence Reflex. Martin Lindstrom's 2005 study for Nike exposed the brutal reality of the Limbic Hijack. That faint floral scent made 84% of participants prefer the shoes in the scented room, and they were willing to pay $10.33 more for the exact same identical sneakers. Visual marketing is a remarkably weak signal compared to what is inhaled. While the amateur obsesses over a logo redesign, dropping $5,000 on a 4K display, the 1% are meticulously calibrating the parts per million of vanilla flowing through their HVAC system. The nose is the only human sense directly wired to the amygdala. The customer actually feels an emotion about the transaction before their visual cortex even registers the item on the shelf. Building a pristine showroom that smells like nothing at all is a biological trap. The human brain perceives a complete lack of scent or the sharp tang of chemical cleaner as a sterile warning. It immediately triggers an instinctive desire to leave and find a more natural environment. The physical store is a psychological laboratory. You just forgot to turn on the equipment. Think about the spaces that push you away. Describe the most sterile, off-putting smell you've encountered in a business that made you immediately run for the exit. This sensory blind spot doesn't just destroy small boutiques. Look at Starbucks in 2008, a titan mid-identity crisis. The executives were staring at their operational efficiency spreadsheets. The newly introduced breakfast sandwiches were moving fast. The ticket sizes were up. I remember pushing a cheap, unrelated service in my own business, watching the quick cash roll in while secretly knowing my brand's soul was bleeding out, just praying the high volume would mask the stench of my desperation. The Starbucks stores were ruthlessly efficient, but the magic was dead. The heavy, greasy smell of burnt cheddar cheese was completely suffocating the rich, dark roast aroma that built their empire. Let's play a game. Your sales are dipping because a competitor is cheaper. Your foot traffic is thinning. What is the 1% move? Option 1. Lower your prices to match theirs. Option 2. Launch a massive social media ad campaign. Option 3. Add more variety to your product menu. 3, 2, 1. Option 4. Scent path purification. Howard Schultz returned to the company and removed the smell of burnt cheese to save the coffee aroma. Why? Because that specific scent was the only biological anchor making people willingly hand over $6 for a cup of hot water and crushed beans. The 2008 Starbucks research confirmed it. The aroma was the primary driver of the third-place feeling. Without that invisible trigger in the air, they were just another fast food joint rushing commuters out the door. Here is the cold, biological reality. 75% of the emotions we generate daily are affected by smell, not sight or sound. The crime of the struggling owner is focusing entirely on operational convenience and menu size, while systematically killing the very environmental trigger that makes them unique. The 1% know that convenience is a cheap commodity, but nostalgic scent is an absolute monopoly. You aren't selling coffee, you are selling a psychological sanctuary that just happens to serve caffeine. Think about your own wallet for a second. Drop into the comments right now and answer this. What is the one smell that immediately makes you trust a brand? For me, it is the distinct, piped-in white tea fragrance of an expensive hotel lobby. But physical spaces are easy to diagnose. The real bloodbath happens when you try to engineer this reflex through a screen. You sit in your home office at 2 in the morning, staring at the cold glow of a dashboard, trying to forge a human connection through glass and pixels. You obsess over the precise shade of blue on the checkout button and hire expensive copywriters to construct the perfect post-purchase funnel. I remember obsessively folding custom mailer boxes at midnight, staring at my living room wall, desperately praying the thick, matte cardboard would trick them into thinking my absurd price tag was justified. You ship out the premium package, but the refund requests and the general apathy keep trickling in. Digital marketing feels like screaming into an empty canyon because you left the customer's most aggressive biological antenna completely dark. Let's run a simulation. You're shipping a high-ticket, physical product across the country. How do you ensure the buyer opens the box and instantly decides they are never, ever returning it? Option 1. Include a personalized, handwritten thank you note. Option 2. Use heavy-duty, expensive packaging. Option 3. Provide a surprise free gift worth $5 inside. 3, 2, 1. Option 4. The unboxing anchor. You subtly scent the internal tissue paper with a proprietary fragrance that mimics high-end success. Maybe rich leather mixed with a clinical hint of white tea. You see, visual marketing in the modern era is an absolute trap of digital blindness. Researchers at Rockefeller University in 1999 proved that humans remember 35% of what they smell. Compare that to a pathetic 5% of what they see and barely 2% of what they hear. Your perfectly edited 4K visual ads are quite literally being deleted by their brain spam filter every 3 seconds. Scent brand association doesn't ask for cognitive permission. It hits with 100 times the force of your clever jingle or your meticulously chosen brand colors. You've been relying on logic and aesthetics, taxing a prefrontal cortex that is already exhausted from endless scrolling. But the olfactory bulb never sleeps. It bypasses the analytical gatekeeper and goes straight to the emotional vault. If you aren't scenting your physical touchpoints when that package arrives at their door, you're just a ghost in the machine. Your relentless reliance on logic was the exact reason they didn't bond with your brand. Drop into the comments right now and share the exact moment you realized your endless hard work was actually being sabotaged by the sterile, scentless environment you unknowingly handed to your customer. Visuals are a suggestion, sound is a distraction, but scent is a command. The masters of the 2026 market don't ask for permission to enter the customer's mind. They bypass the logical firewall entirely. They use the air they breathe. You see the strings now. The coffee shop, the luxury hotel, the new car. They aren't selling products. They are engineering your limbic response. They are trapping the prospect in a biological inevitability before a single word is spoken. You were never bad at sales. Your pitch was probably flawless. You were just invisible to their most powerful sense. The real transaction happens completely unnoticed, right under your nose. If you prefer to keep bleeding cash on aesthetic illusions, do nothing. If you want to decode the rest of these invisible strings, hit subscribe. Will you keep selling to eyes that are already closed?